agradecimiento por estar aquí. Gracias. Algo sencillo, muy bonito. Sí.
In 1987, I started my first year as a state senator in the Illinois Senate. And there was a lot of activity around school reform back then. And that activity resulted in 1988 in the passage of a school reform bill, a Chicago school reform bill that created local school councils. And back then the argument was that we needed more parental involvement, that we needed parental involvement in the decision-making process. We needed parents to assume full responsibility for their schools to ensure that their children would receive a quality education. And here we are, decades later, with local school council members. How many of you are local school council members? Please raise your hand. Local school council members. And so most of the local school council is here. Obviously the majority of the local school council is here. And I've just been informed, because let me, as an aside, say I'm here because the parents contacted me and came to see me this Saturday and asked me to look at this situation. And I said that I would be here today. But it disturbs me greatly to learn that it's been 14 days and they have not had contact with the Chicago Board of Education. And I asked, is there a letter? Is there a notice of some sort? Has there been a phone call? What communication has taken place?
None.
That is not the way CPS Central Administration should treat local school councils. I will, upon returning to my office this afternoon, call Ron Huberman, and I will call others, including the local elected officials, and ask them to please resolve this issue immediately. And I appreciate that, but this is very serious here. You know, in looking at and going inside the building and seeing the mattresses that they have there and the meals that they're serving, I have to ask, why did it get to this point? Why, in a system where we are talking about the importance of strengthening neighborhood schools, as yes, we establish more charter schools and other academic options for children, the bottom line remains that in order for CPS students to make progress, in order for us to reduce that achievement gap that exists in the city of Chicago, we need to strengthen our neighborhood schools. Not every child in the city of Chicago can go to a magnet school. Not every child in the city of Chicago can go to a selective enrollment school. Not every child in the city of Chicago can go to a charter school. Those options are nice, but until we strengthen our neighborhood schools, we're not going to see the kind of quality educational opportunities that every child in the system needs, and certainly every child in the system deserves, and every child in the system has a right to receive. And so it is important that this matter get resolved. And I wonder, sometimes I wonder what goes on in the minds of some of the bureaucrats, because here we have space, much needed space, desperately needed space that is not available in that building, that is used for parent classes, it is used for sewing classes, it is used for English as a second language classes. Exactly the type of thing that we keep telling our schools they have to do more of.
Yes.
So on the one hand, we tell schools that they've got to develop after-school programs, that they have to have more programs to engage the parents and the families, and then we don't recognize that the space that is being utilized is absolutely necessary. And then I've been told that you have individuals who have volunteered to help finance the rehab of this building.
Yes.
Yes.
And to ensure that it is up to code and that it meets standards.
Yes.
And so this is not about costing additional dollars. These are common sense things. Where is the common sense? I don't know. I don't know really the answer to that question at this point in time. Now, there may very well be other plans. There may be master plans that I'm not privy to. I've been around long enough to know that that happens. That sometimes there are master plans that do not involve you and that do not involve the local school council. I recognize that. If there is a master plan of some sort for this location, for this land, then please let the parents know.
Yes.
Let the community know. We live in a day and age of increased calls for increased transparency.
Yes.
Superintendent Huberman preaches data collection and data analysis and data-informed decisions. If there is a plan, if there are issues here, let's inform with that information the community, starting with the local school council, so that then decisions can be made. But you need to be partners in that decision-making process. These are your children, this is your school, this is the neighborhood you live in, you have a right to be heard, you should not be ignored. And what I just said is something that I've heard Mr. Huberman say, and others within the Board of Education and the school board have said. They've said it time and time again, that we need parental involvement. So let's practice what we preach. And so this is day 14. Let's bring this to an end now. I do offer myself to be part of the discussions. I'm not here just to make a declaration and walk away and say, that's it, good luck, folks. I'm ready to participate in that process. We do need and want the resources, and we want to make sure that what we're doing is the right thing for our kids, particularly, especially for our kids. And so I think that you're ready to sit down and talk. Let's open up lines of communication, and let's work towards a resolution that is a resolution that you help shape, and one that is in the best interest of the children. So, gracias a todos. Thank you.